What's up guys, Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 video. In today's video, I'm going to showcase a very powerful solo Pestilence build. This is going to be perfect for playing open world heroic, legendary missions, whatever, any PvE content in the game. This setup will be very good for you. Whether you're a passive player, aggressive player, you will dominate. I can get just under 1.2 million damage a tick. Also over 100k armor on kill, which is significant because we can hit hard, get kills, get my armor back, and also hit just under 500,000 damage a crit with the Pestilence, which has got infinite reload, instant reload, and also this weapon has got increased RPM due to the holster and the changes in the current latest update. So please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow me on X and on Twitch, and let's get straight into the video. So like I mentioned, over 1.1 million damage a tick, just under 1.2, which is significant. That's due to the backpack talent that I'm using, which gives me a huge boost, and also the brand set bonuses. There's some more damage there, but those are the main ones. Now, I think it's very important for me to mention that with this setup, I'm going to be making use of the backbone backpack, which is a named Lengmo backpack, which comes with a very powerful talent called Perfectly Unstoppable Force. So this is a solo build, so you need to get kills to get this activated. It makes sense because Vigilance is way less damage, 25%. This is 35%, and if we get shot, we still keep the damage up, and you will keep it up because you need to be killing enemies. This is a solo build, and trust me, you do enough damage, it's quite easy. On top of that, you'll be critting high and then getting armor on kill. So this is definitely going to be the best one. Now, when you look at the 3-piece Lengmo, it is sometimes a bit difficult to understand why you would use 3 pieces just to get 30%, but 30% is huge. It's a very large amount, and also explosive resistance and skill health can be very helpful depending on what skill you want to use, but being able to tank explosions is really nice. That 30% is unmatched. Trust me guys, use the 3-piece. It's definitely the one I would go for. Now you can switch it up, use like a Gruppo and a Walker and Harris. There are different little options, maybe Heartbreaker 2-piece, but that's on you. Trust me, this is still the best way to do it. So 35% weapon damage, unbelievable backpack. Go and farm it in Countdown. Some of the new items like the exotic holster I'm using, you can get in the open world. I've had confirmation like the Strager AR. Make sure you go and farm them. If not, go to the season rewards track and get these new items. So this backpack is going to be paired up with another 2 pieces of Lengmo, making me have 3 pieces, which is just really powerful. Then with this setup, I like to use the exotic holster, but more specifically the second buff. So we want to make sure the solid white hair is on the Pestilence. Then when you run out of bullets, you swap quickly back and forth. Then you have an instantly reloaded Pestilence with increased magazine size. It's just the way to go. You can use the first one, which is great, but just remember that you will be getting rate of fire and weapon damage, which is nice. But then you would probably need to go for weapon handling. I think when I post a full straight up DPS Pestilence build that's focusing on weapon damage in the ticks and no other elements like maybe group play as well, then I will make use of the first buff and then spec weapon handling on the build for reload speed. That video will be coming up soon. So the 3-piece with the holster is just unbelievably strong. I have got Obliterate. You can use Perfect Companion with a healing drone, which I have shown in the past, which gives me quite a lot of weapon damage, and the enemies don't shoot it and you get healed a bit. So that's also another option you could go for instead of like a Cheska, but we need to get that crit chance up because I've got over 120% crit damage on the setup, which makes getting crit chance worth it. Obliterate is going to work very well because you're going to be shooting, critting a lot, and it's still quite strong. You don't have to use Obliterate. There are many different options for you. Let's take a look. So when we look at the chest piece talent, because the backpack is what it is, we can change the chest piece. So you can go for something completely different. Overwatch, but this might be a bit situational. Unbreakable, but Unbreakable I wouldn't recommend in PvE. Glass Cannon can be good, but we have got blues, so it doesn't really make sense on this build. Gunslinger can, but then you've got to be very watchful of when you swap, otherwise you lose the buff. It's kind of annoying then. Braced is really strong if you guys wanted reload speed, but I don't really play in cover that often, so it's up to you. Spark if you want to use a damage skill, but it's only 15%, but I guess it is skill damage also, so it can make up for it, but this is not a skill build, so I wouldn't really worry too much about that. Efficient in case you want to spam armor kits, which can be something you can go for, but anything else, I don't really think it's as good with this current setup as this, or maybe Perfect Companion, but then that's going to give you skill haste on the chest piece. That's why I haven't chosen it here. So it's quite simple, guys. So you want to be holding the Pestilence. Make sure it's got the second buff with the solid white hair. Shoot, swap guns, swap back to Pestilence. If the Pestilence has got the see-through hair, just hold the grenade, then put it back in your pocket, and then you've swapped the buffs around on the holster. And then you just shoot everything in sight. And that's how it works. You get armor on kill, loads of damage. The Pestilence takes over 1.15 million, which is ridiculous. Now, think about that for a second. Now, we can get more with the Pestilence. I think my record is like 1.6, 1.7 million ticks. It depends. But with the setup, I have got some blues here because we want to make sure we've got some survivability. Now, the only one drawback I found with this build is that the survivability isn't absolutely amazing. And what you could do is even go for more blues. I think if you're going to be playing a heroic mission, more blues would probably be better because then you would still be doing enough damage, but you would be getting a lot more armor on kill. 128 does feel a little lackluster, but that's the thing though. We want to make sure we're doing as much damage as possible. And you know, solo legendaries are possible with this build. I've done it, but I wouldn't necessarily use this for solo legendary. This is not something I would use, but it can perform in a solo legendary. That's something I wanted to talk about as well. This is primarily focused around heroics and running open world activities, anything other than solo legendary for the average player. But if you're a good player, you can absolutely use this in a solo legendary. It does the job and it is very powerful. 53 crit chance, 127% crit damage. It is a beast. We got some armor damage as well from the contractor's gloves. So it's up to you. Straight from the top, guys. I just wanted to explain it in that way because I think it's a bit easier for me to give you an idea of how the build is functioning. So let's take a look from the top now. So 1.3 million armor. We've got gunner specialization for that armor on kill. Now what you can do is add some other pieces or brand set pieces that do give you more armor on kill. That could be something you could go for as well. When you look at the attributes, I've gone for crit. Now you can go for weapon handling. You can go for regen. I wouldn't really go for it as an attribute. Rather go for it as a brand set piece to give you a percentage amount. But you can tweak up the actual attributes to whatever you prefer. It kind of depends what you're going to be using this build for. But as a whole, general open world activities, this is going to be probably the best one for you, the best combination. Just give it a try. You can tweak how many reds or blues you have, but it's really on you. Then I think it's really important to take note that the Pestilence is unbelievably strong with this setup. You can use other LMGs, but you're not going to be getting the most out of them. So I would definitely use this, have damage to armor rolled here, and then Plague of the Outcast is just so strong. The gun got a buff. The Pestilence is amazing. Secondary, you can use whatever secondary weapon you want. Sometimes use something that has more swap speed, but it's up to you. Orbit Pistol for more critical hit when you can proc something. I don't like to do it all the time in the gameplay because I want to make sure you guys see the true gameplay. And also the global modifiers, I try to have them off. So in case you're not using them, you know, I don't rely on global modifiers. Let me know if you want to see me use some other modifiers to increase my damage and things like that, not just against the strong enemies. So the pieces, as I mentioned before, 3 Legmo, we've got Cheska, the exotic holster, and contractor's gloves. These gloves are very important. Probably one of the most important pieces in the build, bar the holster. So every single piece, all the modifications are going to be critical hit damage. I've got a Cheska here to get my crit chance up. It's quite important. Now remember, it's 8% now, so it has become a little bit less powerful. I think it used to be 10, but crit damage, crit chance, it's still going to be necessary because I've got crit chance rolled everywhere. And like I said, my crit chance is barely where I want it to be, so that's fine. But like I said, you can go for weapon handling if you choose. Chest piece as well, crit chance, crit damage mod. This is very strong. So explosive resistance, great when you get bombarded. As you guys know, you can survive. Skill health is great, even if you want to use a shield, guys. The shield will be a lot stronger, so that's something you can think of to use with your assault rifle if you need it. LNG damage, too strong to pass up. Exotic holster, we need that second buff. It just works well. Swap between your guns and then you instantly reload it. Such a good holster. It's a must use. Then the backpack, Legmo backpack. Go and farm this. Perfectly unstoppable force. You keep this active a lot more than you think, and 35% damage. And if you get shot, it doesn't matter. It's a great backpack. Then contractor's gloves for damage to armor, crit chance, LMG damage as well. Such an important piece. That's how I'm able to escalate all that damage, especially to enemies with armor. Then the third piece of Legmo, crit damage and crit chance. I use Defender Drone and Decoy. It's up to you what you go for there. We've looked at the stats already. Let me know what you guys think. There are many different versions of this build, and you can tweak it how you want to and adapt it to suit your own playstyle. I will be posting some videos, like different variations of Pestilence. I made a Virtuoso build, link in the description, and I will also test a few more builds like straight up damage, different variations, maybe more weapon handling, focusing on the first part of the exotic holster. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.